The Nerds from Work, your weekly escape into the world of geeks, nerds, and this shit is getting confusing. We add boxes, we split boxes. Now we're in a screen, and I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Hey, as always, I'm Jason Miller, and I've got with me Josh Tankersley.
What's up, everybody?
Narud Bajay.
What up?
And a man who some say he once walked into a room of 32 women, turned them all into lesbians with 2 words.
Actually, some say he is wanted in 40 states of the United States, and that's why he only stays in Georgia right now. Plus, I've heard his hair is made of cotton candy.
I heard that he's the fucking Stig.
We couldn't. Tank, we've covered
What?
this. We can't afford the Stig.
No, I thought you told me to say this was the Stig.
No, I said it's Charles McFall, the rock god of
all right.
podcasting.
My bad.
We can't afford the Stig. This is all we can afford. This guy, that's all we can afford. That's it.
They told us we have to pay $50 to get this thing over, and
All right,
yeah, broke the budget.
Charles.
$50 breaks your budget. I need to help you guys out.
Yes, you.
Yeah,
You
please
do.
do. You
Why
can
do you
find
think
us
we have
all.
you on the show? That's the
Duh.
whole reason you're here.
Just so we know set up, man.
We are
Right,
tagging you on. We're tagging you on social media. That's the whole reason you're here.
Like, seriously, I'm doing this show right now, but what you don't see, I'm actually making shoes. This is a sweatshop. Fucking sweatshop, bro.
Well,
I thought this was clear.
out of all 3 of those stories, one is true. And those 2 words that turned all those women lesbians were, I'm Houdini. And I just did it.
Yeah. It's weird how that happens. That's happened to me, too. It's weird. So then I said, my name's Tank, and I have an Oricana of time, and then I got married. And she found out that my name is Jason.
Can you guys guess that Jason's never played Legend of Zelda game in his life?
Yeah.
Never. All right, guys. So tonight, we've got Charles McFall.
I need to get that.
If you can't tell, if you're listening to us on iTunes or anywhere else, if you're pirating this, which is weird because it's free, we've got Charles McFall on. So,
Yeah.
Charles, yeah, Rock God Podcast.
Dude, when torrents first came around, well, I mean, technically, back in the day, bulletin boards,
Or
everything.
LimeWire?
Yeah, but when podcasting came around 2004 and then torrents really started on the rise as well, I was like, please pirate my shit. It would make my day if you put my podcast on a torrent site and told people they can't have it. It'd be awesome. And it never happened. But I thought,
Well, back then, you were going by what, Bear Crawl?
yeah, but okay, so my very first, you'll love this. My very first show was called Pulling My Pod, and it was supposed to be this Zany Zoo Crew morning thing, and it was all dirty jokes.
Oh,
Imagine
man.
all the time.
Like, you said pulling my pod, and I immediately thought of like tampons.
Okay.
I don't know.
You go there.
I don't know.
You've
what
grown
you
up
thought
with your
of?
dick in your hand. Why would you go to tampons? Can we swear?
Just thinking like
Oh yeah,
there's a
we're
string
good.
there, like a tampon. I'm just saying, like, it's an easy line.
We got
Can
that.
you Can you tell he just got married?
How did that not become a hit? Like, seriously, pulling.
Tampons? Tampons are it.
Well, the short answer is because it wasn't true to who I was. It was straight justice, dirty comedy, slapstick thing. But my big show that really got me going to where I am today was called Bear Crawling. And actually, my email still is that. So
Wise, you probably want to go back and delete your old episodes and tweets. Just
So
Gun.
Yeah, right.
so
Make it back up in 10 years.
saying.
I went from Bear Crawl because you were talking about people torrenting your shit, and back then torrents were 99% porn. So maybe someone did download it thinking they were looking for some Bear Crawl porn.
Yes,
They got your show and were sadly disappointed.
it was during the show that I learned what a bear in the gay world was. And then,
I don't even want to know.
that's what I would be. So I was like, you know what? Whatever brings you to the table, as long as you keep listening, I'm okay with that.
I'll be your Yogi Bear.
Hey, boo-boo.
Open the basket. Oh man. So you've been around since what, 2004 podcasting.
Mhm.
Okay. So just a little bit longer than me.
A few years.
about like
Just days before me, actually.
10, 12
I
years.
started 2005.
14 years. Anyway, so you've been around since 2004, since I was on AOL, trying to figure out how dial-up worked. Bro, have you guys ever heard that Little Dicky rap song? About like how he's staying in. Like, so basically he's talking about like back in high school, he was on AOL Messenger and he could talk to like 3 or 4 girls at a time. He was saying like how he's a pimp on AOL Messenger, but in real life he like just didn't talk to women.
That's funny.
That's funny. So you've been around for a while. Yeah, man. A little bit about yourself, your shows, and how did you end up on this motley crew of a show?
So I like long walks on the beach, and I'm a.
This isn't that profile, bro.
Sorry.
That's the late show.
All you swiped right to get me here, so I'm just saying. you justify it.
No, I met you at a street corner, bro.
So. Almost literally. You did approach me. He's like, are you kind of podcasting? I'm like, I don't know. Are you into weird shit?
My answer was yes.
Well, to be fair, I don't know whose wife it was, but one of your wives actually approached.
Wow. Okay, now we're just
first. There's great marketing.
No, true story. My wife came over because she was promoting for our show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then
our show or panel.
Yeah, so she walked over to you. And we had
no idea who he was.
Right.
No idea. And we had actually been to your panel at Dragon Con last year.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, gosh, Tank, do you know who she's talking to? And Tank's like, let this ride out for a second. Like, let's see. And I was like, all right, this looks really bad. And Tank's like, go over there and, like, get her out of that mess and see if he'll come to the show, and I was like, Tank, you go over there. He was like, no, you were the one with the mouth. I was like, okay, good point.
You're a fucking salesman. Go sell us. Go. Hurry up.
So I show up, and the first thing that Charles said was, okay, so this is your show. I was like, yeah. He was like, what is it? Because she's trying to tell me, but she can't tell me. I was like, what the hell have you been telling people? Like, why are people showing up to our show? What the fuck are you telling them?
Oh, that's so awesome.
So, yeah, she was, like, trying to promote the show, but she was, like, confused. Which, I mean, we all were.
Pretty much standing outside telling people, go in there. Are you lost? Yeah, that's where you got to go.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah. You're looking for the bathroom? Yeah, that's 11. That's right there. That one, that's the bathroom. So, yeah, that is how this relationship started. But a little bit more about you. You're our guest.
So I like you said, 2004. So I was a full-time paramedic. And I was at a fire station, and wasn't a whole lot to do. We have to stay there for 24 hours, and it's a slow county, so you might do 1 or 2 calls in a day, if that. And I always had my Xbox at the time. This is how long ago it was, and my own TV set up so my partner could watch whatever bullshit they wanted to watch on the TV, and I'm over there playing my Xbox. And all I knew was talk radio in the mornings, like the radio stations. And this radio station was like, hey, you can go to our website and get this thing called a podcast, and you'll get our morning show. Well, really it was bullshit, because you went there and you got clips of their morning show, and it was the dumbest shit they did in the morning. It wasn't the good stuff. And like, well, this is interesting. I want more. And I found this site called Podcast Alley, which was the second largest. Podcast Pickle was a thing. Somebody made a
Hell
it's
yeah.
called Podcast Pickle. Gary Leland, yeah, I love you, man, but I don't know what the fuck you were thinking.
He was sniffing a pickle, is what he was doing.
And he's done some great things. He's actually one of the founders of Podcast Movement now. So, but Podcast Alley, and I was looking up comedy, and I found the show, and I started listening to it. And these guys sound like they knew what they're doing. And I thought, man, this is great. And I wrote into them. And it's called Two Guys, One Brain. It's about sheriffs in basically in Portland, Oregon. And they're just recounting tales from their jail time or working in the jail. And it's funny. And I wrote in, and then they read my name. I was like, holy shit. Little did I know how new podcasting was, because they sounded like they'd been doing it for a while. And it's like the radio station. Well, then I wrote in again. Then I sent a story. Then I started doing clips. And then, because I been in a band for a while, I brought in my big old soundboard, put it in my bunk room, and my microphones, and slammed the door and told my partner to leave me the fuck alone, and started figuring out how to do segments and shit. And from there, I started my own show, and took a quick break for a while, but then did bear crawling, and did that for almost 300 shows. I stopped just shy at 298. So it's like, fuck it.
Damn,
I don't give a shit. Fuck it.
You're like, you just didn't go those 2 extra weeks. Like, shit.
Because who cares? I mean, it's
You could have put out 2 extra shows in one day. Like, one show could have been like, hey, this is Bear Crawl, and the second show could have been like, fuck you, I'm out. Like, I get 2 to 300. Like, that is a completion, man.
I've done so many different shows through the years. I did Success Freaks for a while, and that's the first show I started getting paid for, and that was great. I did a show called From the Helicarrier that partnered me with Brian Ibbett, and we got paid for that show.
You have a new one, and that one's awesome.
So FTH Beyond is the spiritual successor of that. So he and I and Paul Klotz did From the Helicarrier, which is a show about a game on Facebook that no longer exists. It was a Marvel game. And we knew we had something there, but we knew the game was going away. So we started the network Giant Size Team Up. This is all the fast forward Cliff Notes version. And so we started Giant Size Team Up and started Breaking the Panel to be the flagship show where we talk about fandom and geekdom. And tonight, we went on about James Gunn and Chris Hardwick and other stuff before I came on here. And now that they've got a new Marvel game out on the phone called Marvel Strike Force, we call it FTHB. It's FTH Beyond. And to give, homage to where we got started from, but to be able to brand and do more games and that kind of thing. So we have fun with that. So now, you asked me this question on Instagram TV. Why do I do so many shows? It's like, because I just got shit to say and it works in my schedule. The shows that are on hiatus right now is Rock Out of Podcasting. There's 50-something episodes on that website. And actually, IGTV is kind of the 5-minute version of that. But that show, dude, I don't know. This is going to blow Tank's mind. Tank says he didn't talk well alone. So the whole premise of Rock Out of Podcasting is I'd get a question. And sometimes it'd be from listeners. Sometimes it'd be from my producer, who's a friend of mine. That sounds more fancy than it is. That's why I said. That's why I try to downplay it. It's not like a fancy thing. But we get a question. And he would give me the question at the beginning of the show. And an hour and a half later, I'd wrap up my story. And that's it. It's just me and a microphone and Henry Rollins style, go. And here's the story and where it wound and what I learned from it and bring it back. And I love that so much. And that's why I love the Instagram TVs around now. So currently I do Breaking the Panel, which is on Giant Size Team Up, Pokemon Go podcast, which is a show we bought. That was the first business move we really did, was somebody saw that the game was coming out a year before it came out and got the URL, PokemonGoPodcast.com, and started doing a show once a month on the news. And right before it launched, they decided to sell it to us. So like, shh. And it's doing well for the network. I do an EMS show. So I'm still in the paramedic world, even though I'm not a certified paramedic anymore. And so I do an EMS show called EMS Underground. And it talks about the life of being on the ambulance. And I know some of you guys saw it already, where I got punched in the face the other night.
Yeah, that was my next
almost got
question.
puked on?
Yeah.
So,
No, I've been puked on before, but not that night. That was so close. It's so gross, dude. He just he was eating grass and shit. It was nasty.
All right, let's round robin. Tank, I think I know the answer to this, but would you rather get punched in the face or thrown up on?
Thrown up on all day.
Are you serious?
Dude, I get punched in the face on a weekly basis. I don't want some random dude actually punching me in the face.
Hey,
You're welcome.
first rule of Fight Club is you don't talk about Fight Club.
You're right.
Yeah, bro. Don't talk
My
about
bad.
that shit. Rue, would you rather get thrown up on or punched in the face?
Probably. Who's doing the punching, though?
We'll just make it easy. Tank.
Oh, in that case, thrown up on.
No. Tank on a stepladder. Tank on a stepladder.
He has to reach your face.
Yeah, I have my stepladder.
I'm going to bend down and on my hands and knees, he's going to come off of my back and just haymaker you.
That's it.
I believe my answer still stands. I'd rather because soap can wash it off. That punch is gonna sting for a bit. So
I would rather take a punch in the face because like the throw up, I'm seeing
It's
it, I'm
nasty.
smelling it, it's there.
Yeah.
Now, do I need to throw up? I don't know. Maybe.
Are you a
Here it
sympathetic
comes.
puker?
what are you talking about? Look
Here
at
it
Charles.
comes.
Look,
I
look
don't
at
know.
Charles. Look at Charles's face. He looks beautiful, man. No black eye, nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, he didn't.
I
I
can't
know how to defend
smell
myself, so he didn't get me that good, but he got me enough to like, hey, fucker, don't do that again.
So, Charles, you had both puke and punch. Which one did you like better? Like,
Really?
which one would you take again?
I'll take the punch any day, honestly.
All right.
It's just the nastiness of the vomit. So worst story is my boss at the office. He was a flight medic, and in the helicopter, there's just no room. So the patient's head's in between his legs, and he was doing something, and the guy did an involuntary like cough and coughed blood into his mouth.
Oh shit!
Instantly, he puked right back into the guy's mouth. There's some stories you just know.
So
Okay, here's
that
the thing.
reminds
Let
me.
me explain something just real quick. The last time I got punched in the face, A, I didn't used to wear glasses. And
You knocked your vision funny.
B, the guy, I mean,
Knocked him funny.
I took the punch okay. I mean, he was freaking out and boom. It was a friend of mine. I was trying to calm him down. But here's the thing, though. He hits me in the face. And my first thought was, I'm good. I'm fine. But apparently I had some trauma to my eye because he hit me really hard right in the eye. So
If you actually knocked your vision funny.
pretty much. So for the next week, I couldn't see good.
It's funnier now.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
because of that, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to have to go through that again. That was
So I might share this story on Instagram TV, but I might not. I've actually made the conscious decision that another grown man had to eat another grown man's throw up, and he did it.
See, this is why I was in the army.
See, like the Marine Corps is super fucked up. But
That's why I did army. No.
one man ate another grown man's throw up.
You guys
So seeing that, I'm just like, no, I'm good. You punch me all day. Like, I'll take a beating. Like, beatings are nothing. Like, that's fine.
I'm curious why the
Throw
first,
up, though.
second grown man threw up. Like, why did he throw up?
Well, one man threw up, and then
That's your takeaway from this?
the other man threw up because he ate the throw
Because
up.
I was like, did he also order the guy to throw up? I'm like, that would have been impressive.
So like,
Throw up on command.
one guy had to eat something nasty. He threw up in a bag. Well, then the other guy had to eat it. It was
Dude,
real gross. It was gross.
unsubscribe right now.
It was gross.
And this is
Yeah,
how we got from 30 followers.
Do as I say, not as I do. Don't make people eat other people's throw up.
Jesus.
See, I've got weird
If you
stories.
do, though,
I
send us the
promise.
video. Like,
I've seen it already.
Charles was like, hell no.
Charles doesn't want to see that shit.
I'm not send it over for real.
Yeah, you can send that to the TheNerdsFromWork. They're all about that weird fetish throw up.
I will upload it into the group chat straight away.
Gross. That's so gross. All right. So let's put Charles through the gauntlet.
Yeah, gauntlet.
Yeah.
I want to talk about how I ended up here real quick.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you told the story because you're all worried from your standpoint. So I was sitting there with Bobby Blackwolf, and I've been drinking. I can't remember the other guys talking to right now. And we're talking about Dragon Con and different things we want to do. And I don't know if she caught that we're talking about podcasting or not. But your wife came over, and the shirt says TNFW.
There he is. He got it.
And it says, I'm his moral compass. So I immediately go, that's a different kind of shirt. And so she's like, hey, we're doing a panel. We're doing this over here. I'm like, oh, what time is it? And she's like, it said at, I think, 9 o'clock, and we had a panel at 9:30 or something. We had a panel 30 minutes in.
Yeah, something like that.
Started.
Yeah.
And so we were like, oh, yeah, we got a panel. Sorry. We couldn't do the nice thing. And then you come over and you're like, here's where I got a podcast. And we went, yep. And I was like, oh, she's your compass, because your shirt says she's my compass, or so, whatever.
Yeah, I'm cosplaying as Houdini, and she was Houdini's moral compass.
That's it. I'm cosplaying exactly, which is very cool shirt. It was interesting. But I was like, oh, what's the nerds from work? And she was basically telling us, and that's when you came over, and then you were talking about how why y'all do the show and what you do. I'm like, yeah, you know what, we'll come hang out. And it was fun. It was fun. I watched what you guys do on the stage, and how you had no fear, and how she was hustling and getting people to come in and do things. I think she'd been drinking.
Oh yeah, we'd all been drinking.
At one point, you had
loosely just
you had the comic book track director from MomoCon on with you.
Yeah,
and you guys are nice professional podcasters, loud spoken, no worries, and she was kind of quiet. So y'all already been calling me out. I didn't want to make a big deal out of it. So I went over to her. I was like, hey, if I go up there, it's going to make a scene. But if you go up there and just slide that microphone just over to the girl, it'll work better. She goes, yeah. And then totally had no idea what I said. No worries. I'll go sit down. It's cool. But you did a great show. And then we got you to come over to our panel and hang out. And y'all had some good questions. And we got to talk to you a bit. But, yeah, the energy you had on the stage and how you did things, the gauntlet you did and the verses you did. And I want to see you guys do more in-depth topics and discussions. And because Naru, man, you're the shining gem here. You're like, I'm the token black guy. Straight up. You bring the comic knowledge, and Houdini brings the fun shenanigans, and Tank is like, I'm the lawyer. That's all disclaimers. We're not going to worry about that shit. But you got great ideas.
That's true that day.
Great team. Great team you got here. So that's how I'm here, and I'm happy to be here.
Hell yeah, man. We're glad you came around.
I was about to say, I'll say this, right? I recall that whole thing happened real different from my perspective because I had a clue that she was over there talking to you, and I was talking to somebody else, and I just turned around and I saw you. I'm like, hey, that's the Rock God of Podcasting. I couldn't remember your name. I'm like, that's him. That's him. It's right there. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh. And he was like, yeah, Jason's going to talk to him. I'm like, well, duh. Aren't you going? I'm going over there right now. I'm like, are you serious? So I walked right over. Well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I just stuck my hand right through everything.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, Naru, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. When you put your arm between my legs, it looks weird.
That's as manly as you've ever been. A nice big black thing.
It scared me.
That is
honestly.
not what happened. This is the recording. People will believe you.
Next time, think before you shake.
Yeah.
You shake it more than twice, you're playing with it.
Yeah, that's why I had to slap your hand away. I'm sorry, Charles, but once you shook his hand twice, I was like,
Hey,
I don't know about
I was trying to tinkle the guy, so.
Shake it twice, you're okay. 3 times, Charles is playing with me. So, yeah, so it was awesome getting to, hang out with you at Atlanta Comic-Con. That was cool. My wife did come up to me. She said halfway through the panel, you walked over. I saw you whisper something in her ear, and I was like, about to have to kick this dude's ass. Then what you said was really cool. So what you said was actually really cool. She came up to me, and we had never done a panel before. So it was cool. We had we had actual fans. Like, it was weird.
Yeah,
like,
you did. You had some people that listened to your show up. That was awesome.
Yeah, like people were like taking pictures with us and like talking to us, and like it was kind of weird for us. It was surreal. But my wife came over. She was like, hey, that guy? I was like, yeah. She was like, he came over to me and he said, tell your husband this show is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
Oh, damn. Like, that's cool. Like, all right. It kind of like elevated it. And then your daughter ran in and I was like, sorry, this show's for 18 and up. We're done now. But I think there's more. She's like, my dad wants to see you. It was very Godfather-esque.
Yeah, so we were hurting on our own audience. Those slots, man, those were some brutal slots that we all had for those time slots.
They were pretty late.
And so Roberto Blake is dispensing wisdom about YouTube. My daughter's on the front row. I'm like, go over there. You get them. You tell them to come in here.
Tell them eye for an eye.
Yeah. And she actually loved it. So another behind the scenes story. So later, like on the ride home or something, she goes, yeah, I went in there and it was really cool because I was like, hey guys, y'all need to come next door. And they're like, whatever. She's like, I'm the Rock God's daughter. And they're like, oh, I guess we have to come.
That did happen.
Well,
it's true. I didn't know who she was.
This like random like pink hair girl comes in. She's like, hey, you guys should come next door. And we're like still like shaking hands and talking to like the people.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, cool. And she's like, yeah, no, my dad, the Rock God of Podcast. And we're like, no shit. Yeah, okay, cool. Hey, thanks, guys. Cool, appreciate it. Bye. And we're gone, right? And she's out the door.
Yeah. I mean,
we didn't want to interrupt your celebrity because honestly, it is good to have that celebration of people who love what you do. I just needed some asses in seats, and I wanted to. Yeah, I didn't want you to leave. I didn't want y'all to take off without talking to you again. So
yeah, no, for sure.
On a personal note, I like that. You're when you said that about us, the show rocking and everything. I was like, yeah, because I was about to quit the show and everything. I'm just kidding. But
No, he's not.
He's not
He's
at all.
not.
That's why
He's not kidding. That's the
He's
funny
to do his
part.
own thing.
I was about to. No,
He'd already changed his Twitter handle and everything.
This motherfucker has his own like YouTube, iTunes. He has his own everything. He was like, shit. And then he's like, oh shit, the Rock God is paying attention? All right then.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick around for a bit. Yeah, let's hit the lottery just for after I leave. Nah, we're not doing that.
All right, so this is Gauntlet thing, because I don't remember what the questions are.
Let's do the gauntlet. Good. That's good that you don't remember, because we catch everyone off guard. Kind of like your first prom. So
I've never been to prom.
yeah, that's why this one's
Although
your
you're
first.
a rapist, so shut up. That's horrible.
You know.
It's a therapist.
Oh,
It's therapist.
I got you.
It's
My
therapist.
bad. I'm sorry.
I'll take the
What else we
rapist for 300. So first question, who is your favorite comic book hero or villain? Who's your favorite comic book character?
That's tough, man. That's tough. Batman. I don't know if I can get this on the screen, but I got ink of Batman on my arm, and I've loved Batman ever since I was a kid. Just something about the darkness to him, the grittiness, the justice. But then as I got older and really got angsty and angry at life, because a lot of shit happened, Punisher became like, fuck the rules, fuck the bullshit, handle your business. And, you know, it's a toss-up. So I'd have to, if I could pick two universes, Batman and DC, and then Punisher and Marvel.
What about
Of course,
the Hulk? All this-
Deadpool's like everybody's favorite. I mean, I see Deadpool. Deadpool's amazing. I love Deadpool's the shit, man.
So
all this Hulk love on FTH.
Okay, so you got to. There was a T-shirt I almost bought at one point that said, I didn't get it because even then I knew it was a lie, and there's a whole thing about I don't use words that aren't true. But it says, I'm not very dumb, but I can lift heavy things. And I almost got it because that's how I was always treated. So the Hulk's like my spirit animal, man. When Planet Hulk is just the fucking swan song for me. It's just amazing of how he tamed anger. He did everything, and then they fucked with his world and took it away. And, you know, yeah, I do love the Hulk. The Hulk is amazing. But the Hulk, I didn't realize I loved the Hulk until older in life when I was able to read the comics, and I was like, oh shit, this is me, man. This is misunderstood, misaligned, just rage because fuck the world, and you know, yeah. They give me shit on the show about the character in the game, but I still love the Hulk. He's amazing. Good at what he does.
And like he is not wanted in 40 states or so. My question would be real simple. What's your favorite comic book related movie?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Comic book related movie. Because I'm sure if we really dug into all the different ones that were comic book related, we'd get in some great conversations here. Because it's hard to think past the recent history of the Ant-Mans and the Guardians and the Avengers. You know what? I'll have to go with my most formative. Maybe this is why I like the Punisher. The most formative movie is I was 8.
You say Dolph Lundgren.
I was 8.
Do not say Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren's
Hush,
Punisher.
Jason.
Oh God!
Back in your cage, Jason.
Oh my God! He saved the school bus of kids, Jason. School bus of kids, man.
Oh my God! Dolph Lundgren's Punisher? Seriously?
I can tell you for a fact, Dolph Lundgren will be real proud of you right now.
I love Dolph Lundgren. I honestly love Dolph Lundgren. That movie, I remember watching it, and I'm just like, oh gosh! And as a kid, I'm like, this is hard to watch. Like,
you know,
I like the Punisher movie.
I still have
the Thomas Jane one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was that. Oh my God!
Was sick.
Soundtrack from that. It was so good.
The first ever movie I ever seen in my life to date where I actually felt bad for the bad guy. Like when he goes after John Travolta's character.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was vengeance upon vengeance upon vengeance. That was biblical.
The knife blade in that guy's mouth. Just, and they're like, oh, there's a blade. So,
no, the coolest was when John Travolta fights his best friend.
Oh my
with
god!
the knife,
Fights
with the
him?
Bowie knife.
Kills him
And he
slowly.
like throws it. Yeah. And then at the very end where he drags John Travolta with the
Tells him,
car.
made you kill your
Yeah.
wife. Made you kill your best friend.
You know what, though? Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it,
God.
favorite. I watch this any day, anytime. All three films. Third one being one of my favorites. The Blade series. The Blade.
Hell yeah.
The
Hell
second one was tough. The second one was
yeah,
tough.
I'll give you that. Second one's tough. And
Third
one was a
one?
whole lot of shit, but goddamn, Hunter King was amazing.
The third one, see, that was the only character in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, I don't think that one's canon. But if it was, I would totally be cool with Ryan Reynolds playing that character and Deadpool.
And Deadpool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Like,
Ryan Reynolds
That
is
character
so
was so good. Where he's like,
That
oh
character
yeah,
was
I've got a tracker. It's right above the Hello Kitty tattoo on my left ass cheek. Like, that was awesome.
so good.
Like I just farted and ate garlic before I came in down here.
Yeah. He's talking to Triple H. Like, Triple H is this massive man, and he's like, what's Blade's secret? All right. Twice the chocolatey goodness, half the calories, and he like, knocks him out. Ryan Reynolds is so good at like those roles. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, Deadpool makes me laugh every time I watch it.
Oh, so good.
One of the few that I bought the Blu-ray, DVD, digital combo pack when it came out. But yeah, Blade, man.
Hell yeah.
As cheesy as the movie's made, even that TV series has on TNT with that rapper that I don't even remember.
Yeah,
I dug it.
I saw that, and I couldn't believe how, in its own way, good it was. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely cheesy, but
Well,
Yeah.
if you watch our IGTV, I think Naru and I have both discussed that Blade should be the next one to go to Netflix.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
That would be fucking dope.
Yeah.
Let me ask you,
Blade should be the next.
do you think they should bring Wesley Snipes back as Blade?
Fuck
No.
yeah.
No.
Fuck yeah.
I'd be down.
No, I ran over Blade.
That bitch
Blade
needs
comes
pay
up
some
to my
taxes.
nipples.
Give us some money.
Dude,
That
you
he is the littlest man.
run over half-
There's so many more characters.
You
Who would
realize
play
you
me?
run over almost every single person in the MCU. with
Yeah,
the
I
exception
know.
of Thor. So that's not an argument.
It's true.
So move on.
Oh, is Jason one of those that only want to see white, blonde-haired guys?
I don't know.
Spence has brown hair
Did you see
and a
that?
beard.
Did you see that?
Um,
Did anybody catch Wesley Snipes in The Player?
Yes.
The player?
I like Wesley Snipes, but
No, my
I think
point
there's
is-
so many better
My point
actors
is,
that could play him today.
well, true. I mean, don't
Like-
forget that
Don't
movie.
Name
back
one.
down.
That movie was
Like
a risk
Idris
back-
Elba.
that,
shit,
ooh,
okay.
No, he can't be Blade. He's already fucking Heimdall, and he's dead. So
Oh, true. Yeah, he gone.
yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, third question. So we've actually changed this up in the gauntlet. It used to be your favorite comic book, but we've now switched it up since our last guest. And now it's going to be an off-the-cuff question. So it's going to be random. You can thank Brandon for this. 3 of your top podcasts, marry one, fuck one, kill one, go.
Oh, that's a great question. Oh, that's amazing, dude. Fuck, marry, kill, and throw in something red. I love that. That is awesome. First off, I was prepared for the favorite comic book because I already talked about Planet Hulk, man. That's by far the Bible of the comic book.
No, we're not on favorite comic book, though.
Shut up. I'm talking. You better recognize. No, so fuck, marry, kill. All right. Whew. I would have to go with the Mary one would be the one that got me started. I call them my pod daddies. 2 guys, 1 brain. They still have 500 plus episodes. They don't.
Oh, no. I think you're confused. I mean of your own podcasts.
Oh, well, shit. That's easy, man. I thought you were gonna make it hard on me. My own podcast. Okay, so I would kill Pokemon Go podcast because I'm the filthy casual over there, and I get so much from the hardcore Pokemon. That, dude, I love doing the show, and I got my own set of fans now there, and it's a great community, and I enjoy talking with the community and entertaining them. But people lose sight of what my job on the show is, which is to bring the bullshit to the table and to represent the person who only knows Pokemon from the game on the phone. And so, I mean, early days, so many hardcore haters were like, and even recently, like, you need to bone up on your Pokemon lore. You fail to understand the role on this show that is mine. You do not understand that stuff, so I can ask the questions. So that's the good one. I would marry Rock Out of Podcasting because that is by far one of my most favorite shows I've ever done. And everything, if you really watch, so everything I am boils down to a few phrases. One is what you do is not who you are. But understanding who you are changes everything you do. That will come out in every podcast I do, just even in undertone sometimes. The other one is do what you love. Fuck the world. Go after what you love. And then basically it's breaking down the bullshit that people put on us. Like, I should do this. I should do that. That kind of thing. And any podcast, you'll hear it in Pokemon. You'll hear it in FTH Beyond. You'll hear it. Little bits of it always comes through. But Rock Out Podcasting was just an experiment that I thought I couldn't do. I thought I'd always had partners. I'd always done well bouncing off somebody with my humor. And just taking a microphone and doing an hour and a half of storytelling after the first show, and I did it, I was like, holy shit, that's like the best high ever. And I just love that. So that's my Mary show. The fuck show, if it has to be mine, it will be the one I forgot to mention earlier. So it's like the side chick that you bang and then leave. Jason, I know you're a Marine. You know this one, right? It's a moped girl. It's a moped girl.
Oh god.
Fun to ride, but you don't tell people.
You don't let your friends know.
Yeah. No, I do a show called Irma Gerd. It's a mashup podcast at mashuppodcast.com. It's all about the mashup music, and it's very lowbrow. My wife is my partner on that show, and I bring music and let her listen because I love mashup. I love the chemistry science behind mashup music, and she just busts my balls like nobody's business. It's the funniest shit I've ever done. So I'd marry Rock Out Podcasting, I'd fuck Irma Gerd, and I'd kill Pokemon Go Podcast.
Anybody else
All right,
irony in the idea that your wife is your partner on
this is your side piece.
Your side show?
Yeah, that's
side chick show.
Yeah, well, I mean that show. I mean, she would if she watches this or hears this, she'll agree. I mean, it's a passion project, and originally we did it as a standard podcast, like every week, and then we hit this school schedule where she was having to get up at 6 and get the kids up and ready for school.
Yeah.
And so we did like first season has 32 episodes in it because it was a standard podcast. Like, now we got to cut this off. We can't maintain the schedule. So then we tried to do a summertime season that ended up with 9 episodes because we couldn't maintain the schedule. So the third Cody Finger season we're doing right now is just whenever the fuck we feel like sitting down, we'll record some episodes and put them out. And so, yeah, it's very much a passion project because it's all illegal music. You can't fucking monetize or grow this thing. But it's fun. I love it. And so, yeah, my wife is my side piece. I want that tattoo now.
Side piece yourself. Yeah.
Oh man,
very weird.
My wife is my moped chick. That's just.
All right. Why don't we bring this back around? Let's bring it back to the topic, which is Chris Jackson, actually, our first guest ever. He threw this out at us on Twitter saying that we have to cover the trailer from Venom.
The new trailer.
Oh,
yeah. Well, he said the new trailer, but then he attached the old trailer.
Oh, did he really? Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he attached.
That's funny.
Trailer. So what we'll do is we'll actually just talk about the movie. And if we've seen the trailer, because I just heard that Charles hadn't seen it.
I've seen the first trailer. I haven't seen the brand new trailer.
Okay.
Did you see the Comic-Con trailer?
Yeah. I've seen a trailer. Let's put it that way.
There is a very shitty trailer, and then there's San Diego Comic-Con trailer.
I saw the one with Venom in it. So I probably saw the Comic-Con one.
Yeah.
The first one didn't show Venom at all. You see a little bit of
right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw that one, and I saw the one where actual Venom is there. And it's a great kind of creepy, man.
The third trailer was definitely by far the best of the three. I mean, it was the second I saw it, I started laughing. I went back and saw it again. I started laughing again, mainly because they actually turned Venom into a character. I mean, previously, Venom was like the thing attached to the guy. All of a sudden, Venom has a personality, and Venom has humor.
That's because they don't own Spider-Man, and they had to come up with something to keep the brand alive.
No, I get that.
So,
I'm just saying. it was
This
really well
movie.
done.
The first thing about the trailer that catches me is that in all the old Spider-Man movies, it didn't really say much about like in association with anything else. It was just like Sony's Spider-Man.
Right.
But then Marvel Spider-Man Homecoming said in association with Marvel.
Right.
So Marvel had a hand in it.
Yeah,
right.
The trailer that I just watched, the newest one, it says in association with Marvel. So Marvel had a hand
Yeah.
in putting Venom together. And I
You
think
guys are familiar
And it
with this.
shows.
You guys are familiar with the Sony deal, right?
yes.
yeah,
That's why we have Homecoming.
Yeah.
thank
yeah.
goodness.
So
Right?
we're gonna, even though Marvel didn't put it out, Sony's doing Venom. Marvel's always got a person over there making sure everything works, just in case it
And
crosses
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Well, whoever
Right.
you are,
And
secret
before
person,
they didn't have that.
kudos.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
they could just do whatever they wanted.
And they did.
And it was a cash grab. Spider-Man 3, cash grab.
God, I hate that movie.
Oh,
You took two of my favorite
But-
villains and just trashed them. It was horrible.
So
so gnarly.
I am a huge Venom fan. Like, I love Venom. And I was telling Tank earlier,
Venom
like, this
or
movie is
Agent
going to
Venom?
get my money either way.
Do you like the Agent Venom iteration of him?
I do. I do like Eddie Brock better. Or no, I like Flash Gordon or Flash Thompson, not Flash Gordon. Flash Thompson
Flash.
better than Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
But Flash Gordon was awesome in Ted, by the way. But Flash Thompson is better than Eddie Brock. But I am reading the new Venom comics with Eddie Brock, and they're bringing a lot more edge to the character. And they're fleshing him out a lot more rather than just the bully that gets the symbiote.
Right.
So if you haven't read the new Venom books, I would highly recommend that. The art is great, the story is great, and what they're doing with Venom is great. But I think it will relate to the movie because
Of course, they're streamlining things in now.
Yeah.
To get you set up. Did you ever read, since you love Venom, go back and find it. It's probably early to mid 90s. Is a what if one-off shot. But it's what if Venom inhabited the Punisher.
Oh
And
shit!
That
Wow.
was amazing.
That sounds incredible.
I think I remember that, but I can't remember. I don't think I ever read it. Yeah.
I read Deadpool Back in Black, where Deadpool gets the symbiote. that is fucked
That's gotta
up,
be
and I love
nuts.
it.
Oh, God.
I think that would be second in my mind to Deadpool getting the mask, the actual green mask.
So like the symbiote has its own mind. Well, it tries to take over, and that's the conflict with Eddie Brock, with Flash Thompson, is like it's trying to take over. They're fighting back, the whole thing. Well, when it attaches to Deadpool, it's just like, you're psycho, and Deadpool's like, yeah, I know. So you're gonna hang out with me, like, and this is gonna be fun. And then like they take it from there, and you'd think it's like, oh, he's gonna go around murdering everyone. He hangs out with the Power Pack, and I don't know if you know what that is. But it's children's superheroes.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
It's Marvel's Teen Titans. Go.
yeah. So then he's hanging out with the Power Pack. Like, so
Okay.
Venom, Deadpool, and the Power Pack. Like,
I'll look that up
it's
tonight.
the most ridiculous thing.
I'll look those two up tonight. Like we finished this, and
Yeah,
that's my reading list for
it's
tonight.
crazy.
Yeah.
But
Back to the trailer, though.
Yeah, the trailer. We do a lot of rabbit holes
Yes.
in the
we do.
show.
And
Anyway,
there's rabbit holes in the trailer, so
yeah, that's true.
let's do that.
Like a turd. Like I'll bite both your legs off and your arms and your face
That
from
was
your
so
head.
weird.
And you're gonna just roll down the
You're
street.
gonna roll down the street like a turd. It's the weirdest thing.
I swear to God, you hear that, and your thought is, did Ryan Reynolds have a part in writing this script? Like, it was just so like, wait a second.
It's out of character for Venom, though.
So,
Because-
Is it though?
yeah, it is. Like,
so I'll
That
be the
doesn't
guy.
sound like something Venom would say.
No, and
No,
I'll be
it
the
doesn't.
guy. Like when I heard
Here's the
that
thing. It
Sony.
came across as funny.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll
damn,
take.
Naru.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Hey,
Damn,
cool, go
Naru.
for it.
What you say
I'll
is
be the-
more important than what Tank says?
I'll be the bigger man.
Go ahead,
I
Naru.
Oh, Tank, go ahead. I talked over Naru because he talked over you. Go ahead.
Is it? Should we start like? I think we should like start holding our hands up. Like,
Yeah,
I have-
exactly.
I have a question.
I've done that before. It didn't work.
But yeah, because your hand blends in with the.
Shut up.
But
All
no,
right, Tank, go ahead.
when I heard that Sony was doing a solo Venom movie, I was not excited. Seeing these trailers, still not that excited. I'm gonna go see it because.
Okay, Naru, back to you.
I mean, you gotta have.
I heard Sony was doing this movie, I felt the same way though.
But the trailers didn't do anything for me. Like, okay, I will give you the CGI of Venom is pretty cool.
I
But
did not care about the CGI. I already knew they were going to kick it out of the park with the CGI. That had nothing to do.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like to me, that's the only redeeming thing about this trailer. Like, it.
Are you kidding me right now?
I mean, like that
What
turd
about
joke.
when the mouth comes over and does the tongue thing? That's
I mean, that like that's it. Visually, it looks cool. I don't think the
What about
story.
when-
I
what
think the
about
story
when-
is garbage. I love
You
Tom
don't know
Hardy.
the story.
And that's maybe we do.
Okay, you know the story. I'm just.
So I mean,
I'm angry at him right now.
maybe he ends up fighting the other symbiotes. Maybe he ends up trying to he becomes like an anti-hero at the last second. I don't really know.
Venom's always been an anti-hero, by the way, just like the Punisher. Just
I
saying.
mean, they
he just
really-
hates
What didn't he start
Spider-Man.
out as a straight up villain from Spider-Man though?
No,
Yes.
and okay. So he picks on some stuff from the host, right? So when he was first on Spider-Man, right, he's kind of this good but crazy guy, and Spider-Man starts being more reckless. But then when he goes to Eddie Brock, who's in that case the bully,
Right.
the wanting revenge, he just feeds off of that. And so I think Jason's right. I think he's always been an anti-hero. He's just more like chaos neutral, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's not like.
he will kill Spider-Man though. Like he will kill him, but that's like where they draw the line.
I like it when a trailer makes me stop and say, okay, I'm not sure where they're going to go with this. Like, I like it when you engage me, but also when you make me think, okay, this could go this way or this way. For example, there's a scene where he's talking to a guy, and at first you think he's going to kill the guy because he's like, spleen, liver, so much, so many good stuff, so much good stuff to eat, but so little time. And then clearly he doesn't do it. Okay, then there's a scene where it looks like he does bite the head off another guy, but they don't show it. I'm like, okay, I have no idea where they've gone with this. The sequence where he's in the store, and then he walks out the store, looks at the lady and goes, yeah, I've got a
Parasite.
A parasite. I'm
He's got a parasite.
To me, the trailer felt confused. They didn't know what it wanted to be. Does it want to be this like gritty, almost horror-esque, like gnarly, symbiote, or does it want to be like this like funny, like Deadpool Ryan Reynolds style jokes? Like the trailer was very back and forth to me.
So how about
What
this?
made it work for me?
In a perfect world, Tank, what would a Venom movie be to you?
It would have Spider-Man for a start.
Okay, fuck you. Charles,
Just saying.
what would a Venom movie be to you? Your perfect Venom movie. What would
Now, I was looking it up, and supposedly this is going to be an R-rated film, which I think it needs to be. I think you need the violence. A Venom movie is going to be – so this is the line, right, of human decency, and we'll toe that line. We'll show some violence that's okay, like in the Avengers stuff. Venom needs to be just on the other side of the line of, oh, shit, just enough to go, no, he's really not worth cheering for. But you're wanting to cheer for him, and then he does that one or two things that you're like, ooh, that was gross. Yeah, no. And that's my perfect film, with Venom is you're like, you guys ever watch Heat with De Pacino and De Niro and Val Kilmer?
Yes. Yeah.
So that whole film is you're watching both sides. You're watching the bad guys, the thieves who are violent, and you're watching the cops who are trying to catch them. And you're rooting for both sides until you get to the end, and you got to pick a side. And I love how that movie forces you into that conundrum. I'd love to see that here, whereas you're going, yeah, Venom, yeah. And then he does that thing, and you're like, no, he really is kind of a loose cannon, right? I don't know.
Like Jeremy Renner in The Town. He's a villain. He's a bad guy, but you're cheering for him, and you hope he doesn't get shot up out at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He does.
Again?
Which one? Heat or The Town?
No, was the question, what's your perfect trailer?
Yeah, Naru, what is your perfect Venom movie?
Oh, I thought you said perfect Venom trailer. What would it
No.
be?
No. Venom movie.
Ooh, okay.
Not the actor, just like what
No, I
would
get it.
you
I get it.
base it on.
Here's the thing. First of all, I am not a comic book Venom fan. I haven't even read. I mean, everything Venom I've read, he's either been in another book, a supporting character, or I've stumbled on something and just read the first half or maybe finished it. I don't know. That's why I know about Agent Venom, which I thought was interesting. Having said that, the movie for me, maybe that's why I feel like this trailer checked off everything, because it has, for me, it definitely has to be R-rated. It has to go over the line, but at the same time, it has to make me laugh doing that. It has to make me feel like, wow, I can't believe
that nervous laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, like, wow, whoa, oof, you know, that sort of thing. And the trailer has pretty much that vibe. It's confused enough. It touches all the points I want to see. Having said that, though, I will hate it, absolutely hate it, if it just turns out to be some basic retread of, you know that whole thing. Even though I love Iron Man, the movie, that whole thing where Iron Man just basically faces off against a bigger, badder version of himself.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true.
Every time Marvel did that, it was like, okay, awesome. But when Marvel started stepping away from that and giving us more complex villains, yes. So I'm hoping there's going to be, even though the trailer so far just looks like it's going to be that, I'm hoping there's a twist somewhere.
Well, there absolutely is going to be some of that, because we already know Carnage is in the film.
That's not Carnage.
So, to me,
his name is Riot, apparently.
The perfect
fuck that shit.
The perfect balance, right, for a Venom film, for the Venom fanboy in me, would be like almost at the line of a horror movie. Like, that's how scary the Venom needs to be.
Yeah,
like,
I got you.
So almost a horror movie with action like tied in. So it's like right on that really dark edge. Because Venom's not a funny guy, but it's like on that dark edge where you're like, oh shit. Now, comedic relief, like Michael Pena for Ant-Man. That shit is amazing. So that, to break it up in the middle of the movie, is fine, as long as Venom is not the one delivering the line. Well, so I'm kind of, I don't know, hands-offish about this trailer. I do think that it's very shitty if we get a whole bunch of little symbiotes for him to fight.
Yeah.
And then Riot. That would be fucking terrible. It would be sick if Carnage is in the video, though.
And I'll even say, if we get like a good Carnage that like really comes in and like fucks shit up, okay, you know, maybe we can get like a really good fight scene out of that, and like that would be dope. But maybe they're hiding it. I told Jason that this trailer to me feels like better than DC but worse than the Marvel trailer. And
it's a Sony trailer. It's right in the middle of Sony.
Yeah, right in the middle. So, like, I mean, it was good. They didn't give, completely everything away. But I think they still gave away, I think all the funny lines are going to be in the trailer, which, so we'll see.
Jason, question for you.
Yes.
Did you think, I mean, I heard what you just said about how it would be crappy if he was up against a whole bunch of little symbiotes. You notice in the trailer there's like 3 different people that showcase powers at different points.
Yep, and that's why I said it.
Exactly. Okay, I just want to make sure. Are you saying that because you saw that, or you just if you didn't, that's why I said you're going to be disappointed.
No, I saw it. I just hope that's like a test subject area, and that's like a split in the movie. That's not the we're testing out these villains, and now we have like 50 symbiotes, but somehow yours is better.
He's going to go against boss level 1, boss level 2, and then
if they level 1 named symbiotes, right? Scream and Carnage, and that's the only 2 I remember the names of. But there's other names. If they do that, I'm okay with it, especially if it turns out like 13 Ghosts, right? That old horror film. We're all in the house, and at the end, they're not in the house anymore. They're just kind of out in the world because it's one of those peace treaties for a second because the real boss, the real villain got taken care of, blah, blah. Yeah, I can deal with that. And I hear what you're saying, Jason, about the horror movie. And that's what I'd love the first half to 3/4 of the film be the psychological brain fuck of Tom Hardy dealing with, holy shit, you want to do this horrible stuff, but we're trying to do good. And this, he says no killing. And Venom's like, fuck you, I kill all one. You got this brain thing going on. But then the end, because everybody's reacting like, you're scary shit. Venom is fucked up, and then a bigger, more scary Carnage or somebody shows up, and you're like, oh, but you're not as scary as him. Go fuck him up.
So basically,
I would be down with that.
Yeah. So basically, the Hulk, the Hulk movie.
No, because
That's
You're
what
talking about Edward
In a
Norton.
better way. In a better way.
Edward Norton. He's like, oh, he's
So-
horrible. Arrest him. Oh, we gotta. You know what? Let him
But
go.
when you watch Edward Norton's Hulk movie, you always feel bad for Edward Norton's Hulk.
Yeah.
Like he
He's
was always the
sympathetic.
victim.
He's
That's
sympathetic.
Yeah, you're sympathetic to him. You're not scared of the Hulk. Like you can see that the Hulk is childish and is, but the world is scared of the Hulk. I'm
I
saying
like
the audience needs to be scared of Venom.
Yeah. If we can walk out of that theater in a feeling weird, going, what did I just watch? I don't. I'm gonna need a day to process this.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go see it again because I want you to not know what you just saw when you finish that film.
I see
Well,
where
the
you're coming
movie-
from, but here's the thing. They're actually, it looks to me like they're going to take it more from the perspective of body horror as against actual horror. Like, I'm not scared of this guy. I'm scared of, the creep factor. Like, check out the scene where he apparently, I think he crashes the bike and he's on the ground with his leg broken and everything just,
That seemed like pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that seems to be the approach they're going to take, which is to say Venom takes us on a ride. Venom's the cool kid in this movie, apparently. So I don't know how that works, but we'll see.
The movie's coming out on October 3rd, right? So that leads me to think that they're going to go for either what Naru is saying for like a gore fest, or they're going to go for more of like a horror theme. So that's what I'm thinking with an October 3rd release, because that's a Halloween movie.
Right.
Like that's Halloween Horror Nights or Oktoberfest or whatever. That's when people are getting in the spirit. And you don't want a movie to come out in October that's fucking Captain America.
No, but if it's okay, I told you the director's name, so I tried to. He did The Hostel. If it's torture porn, I'm not into it, man. I don't need that kind of gore level. I'm not into trauma. It needs to be Venom to me was always a psychological villain. Right?
Yeah.
He was always in Peter's head. He was always in Brock's head. He was always around. And now, especially being outside of Peter, he's on whoever he ends up. I know he's been on a couple of different people. But he's always fucking with Spider-Man, right? Because he's been in his head. He knows the darkest fears. And that's who Venom is. I mean, yeah, there can be some gore, but it needs to be, oh, shit, what's worse than him biting the head off? It's what he said to the character that was like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
So Charles, you actually read Venom. Like you have read Venom.
I have read some of it, yeah.
Okay. So I think that Tank and Naru, like Naru said he hasn't read, and I know Tank hasn't read.
No.
When they come from the outside and look in, it's like Venom is a very, dangerous villain. But you and I have both read it, and I come from the same perspective. It's a very psychological thing because 90% of the bubbles are thought bubbles inside of Eddie Brock's head or the symbiote.
Yeah.
So that I think it's going to be interesting how they play with that. Like Purple Man in Jessica Jones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I actually love that villain.
Yeah, he was great in Jessica Jones. Partially the actor, obviously David Tennant.
Dude, David Tennant's amazing.
But we already got a little bit of that, Jason, in the second trailer. The first one you didn't see Venom at all. The teaser trailer. So the first official trailer, you had that moment in the alley where he's pinned up against the wall and he's talking to Venom. He's like, we don't kill him. Venom's like, pfft. And it's all in his head. It's like, I do what I want. I'll kill who I want. And I hope they carry that line forward.
I do too.
I hope it's an internal battle. So there's internal and external struggle within the movie, and that will be what makes movies so good.
And it keeps escalating too. Like you can see at the beginning, it's all in his head, and there's a point where it comes literally Venom. He says, "Look at my face," and he comes out and he's looking at Venom. I'm like, "Ooh, okay, it got real." This gets real.
We're all going to go see it because we're all giant nerds. But it's gonna be,
that's true. They've got our money.
Right. The question is, like, who's going to be pissed off when they walked out and who's going to be like, fuck yeah, that movie is great.
I hope Movie Pass doesn't die before then, though. That's all I'm going to say.
Movie Pass is
Dude, no, Movie Pass is done, man. It's a done deal.
I was about to sign up for Cinemia the other day, but Cinemia's app apparently is pretty hard to use. Or not hard, it's just awful.
I'm just going to do the AMC thing.
Dude, the AM.
Well, you live near an AMC.
I do AMC. I don't do AMC. I don't do their like 3 movies a week, but I do like their one payment a year premiere plan.
Yeah.
Where you like I love it. I go to their theaters have always been like the cleanest for me.
And they were at this beautiful place at the mall near me, and I went there for a decade. And then what's that shitty one that just went out of business? I can't think of it right now. Carmike.
Carmike, yeah.
Carmike was a shithole. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, they've always been shitholes.
yeah. So AMC bought up a bunch of Carmikes, and they left
The one
the
by my house.
beautiful theater at the mall and went. I mean, for me, I'm in the middle, so the distance is the same. And then went to the Carmike. They haven't done anything to renovate it. There's literally still holes in the wall. They can't start a movie on time. It's horrible. And I've complained to them. I was like, man, I can't do that A-lister thing until you fix your theater. And then, like you said, Nuri, if you don't have one near you, you know,
Right.
awesome. But MoviePass bit off way more than they could chew. And I think they might
fun ride, though.
but it's never going to be the same again.
Yeah, they're going to raise prices. They have to. They're going to have to do two things: raise prices and cut back on the number of times you can watch a movie.
They already have. They sent out an email recently. I was just actually, we covered this on Breaking the Panel. I read the whole email out for them. But essentially, they're going to limit viewings of availabilities of stuff like Mission Impossible, Fallout 3, whatever the fuck it's called. I forget what it's called. But yeah, essentially they're saying you're not going to get to see the big films when they come out. And then not all showtimes during the day are going to be available. And then when they are available, there might be premium pricing on it. So,
and then this is me hitting cancel.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people would do.
There's no way. It's going to fall apart.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're going to do like one more month. My wife and I both have one, so we could go together. And we're going to do like one more month with it. And if it gets to where we just can't go, because if she can't take me, she'll take one of the kids or something to see. And there's tons of movies out right now. And if it gets to where everything's premium pricing or not available, we'll just hit cancel.
Yeah. I opened it the other day. It was premium pricing from top to bottom.
That's what she said too.
I'm like, yeah, no.
2 days
crazy.
after they you heard about the outage, right? On the 26th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 days after they couldn't fulfill any movies at all, instantly they go to everything's premium pricing.
It was crazy. Movie pass again. It was sad. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, so does anybody have any save rounds for Charles McFall? Because I think that about wraps up the Nerds from Work.
I had a question I'd like to ask him.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
No? Shit. All right, go ahead, Nuru.
Shit.
Shoot, go for it.
I was waiting for Jason to say I should, but that's all right, cool. My question is
I didn't say you could yet.
Damn it. You just couldn't resist it, could you?
Go ahead.
Can I go now?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm not going to ask it anymore, just for that.
All right, cool. All right, well, we all just saved ourselves about 50 minutes. What's
All
up,
right,
dude?
I'm going to ask the question for real. This is something I thought I'd ask everybody any chance I get. When I moved to this country about 4 years ago, the first thing I noticed that really stunned me was I never knew how big your lotteries were in this country. I'm like, what the? I mean, seriously? $300 million? I'm like, are you serious? What would you do if you won $500 million?
Dude, no shit. I've already got a plan. So
I figured you would.
Charles sat up in his chair. He's like, "Fucking let's go."
Top
Get
three
your
things.
fences out, boys. I'm gonna preach.
Top three things.
So the short version is most of it is going to go to my wife. We like the Dave Ramsey plan. I don't really like Dave Ramsey as a person, but I love his plan is sound and it's just logical. And so yeah, do that. I'll pay off the debt, kids' future, buy a house. You know, we've actually started. We call it the death house because it's the last house we want to build and live in until we die.
Yep.
Which
I like
is bad for me because I'm never going to die. So I guess I got to. But
That's not crazy to think about.
yeah.
I mean, pig hearts and stuff.
So she's going to take most of it. I have a $10 million plan for Giant Size Team Up as a company on how I reward my partners, how we invest in the business, how we're going to grow, how some money for a 10-year plan to hire some people who've been volunteering for us and give them decent paychecks for 10 years to make sure that we buy that time to really just now all we do is invest in the company and grow and always do media and always go to these cons and always do out there. So that's my thing is my wife is going to get the money to make our lives better, and I'm going to focus on the business and rock the crap out of it.
Hell yeah.
You know, and I'm going to make Houdini do some porn.
One time I rocked the crap out of something, but then I had to change my pants.
What about you? What about you, Naru? I mean, I know coming from Africa, right? You were wait. I want to get it because I've been watching your videos. Nigeria?
Yep.
Yes, got it.
Niger.
Straight up.
It sounds like you came about 5-10 years ago to the U.S.
5 years ago, actually 4 years and a few months.
All right, so it's obviously it's a huge economic difference from where you came from.
Big.
So if you won the $500 million, would you just go back and buy your home country? I mean,
That's good. I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty slick.
First of all, that wouldn't even be possible because the country is worth. There's a lot of stuff.
The country is worth $300 million.
Oh shit! There's a lot of stuff there that people don't realize. A lot of wealth is just concentrated in the hands of a few. So you can't even take money and go back and do anything because they'll just push you out like for real. So what I'm the kind of person who would just if nothing else, I would separate money into 3 parts. There's the go crazy money because I don't care who you are. There's a part of you that has to go nuts. There's the give the wife. Hold this till I calm down. Money. And then there's the plan for affecting saving lives. Like there's so many people that need help where I'm from that the first thing that comes to my mind is that's it. The rest of my life is all about doing 2 things. Stuff like this that we do now, which is really something I love to do, and planning, well, pretty much what you said, media, that whole thing, which is maybe we'll talk more about that later, but that's stuff I want to do. And also, it's going to become a full-time job for me, pretty much becoming Bill Gates. Like, how do we structurally come up with things that can change lives and help people? So that's about it.
I love it, man. That's awesome. That's good. We got got some deep shit going on.
Let's go buy that ticket.
Super deep.
Yeah.
The only guy who's not drinking. The rest of us are like, well, let's go party.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, oh, damn, if I won, I'd buy a farm, some cattle, a lot of motorcycles.
Oh, we need to talk motorcycles to somebody. I found out you not just ride, you work on them and build and shit, right?
Yeah. I love building motorcycles, and I ride the shit off of. So yeah,
I love looking at them.
Me and my buddy actually started a clothing line a few years ago. It failed, but we were talking about that the other day, and that's kind of what led me into this and this venture. It was called Suicide Runner, and we build up Harleys and we just rode the shit out of them, and we would just ride them all over Southern California. And I've got a lot of biker stories if you want to hear those at some point. But
dude, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Rode into a Hell's Angels bar once, and I didn't know. And that
yeah. You know what you're doing.
Well, he knew, and he thought it was funny. And I was like, "It's not funny, man." Like, well, okay, so I pull up,
Funnier now.
and like the dude, the bouncer, was like a little guy. He was like smaller than me, and he had a red bandana on. He's like, "Yo, I like your bike." I was like, "Oh, thanks, dude." Well, then we go in, and they had a really weird looking fire pit. And we order some beers, and I'm looking at this fire pit, and I'm like, why is this so weird? And then I stepped to another side, and it was an 8 and a 1, and I was like, oh, okay. I see what you did here. And for those in the know, if you ever see an 8 and a 1 on a white dude, just walk away. That's Hell's Angels. So just like, it was in the fire pit, and like I looked around, and there wasn't much color in this bar, and I was like, all right, well, time to go. All right. But yeah. I build and I ride, and
cool.
I love cars, motorcycles, all that stuff. So
yeah,
I don't even play Need for Speed, so
yeah, I am the residential gear freak.
Yeah,
so,
gearhead, motorhead.
Yeah. But yeah,
I like to look at stuff. That's it.
I ride. I used to ride daily, and then I got to a point where the hustle kept me with gear in my car all the time. So ultimately, I fixed my bike through YouTube, and then it never quite ran right after that, but I fixed it.
We'll blame it on the YouTube videos.
Yeah. I was proud of myself. The damn thing wouldn't crank, and I took a YouTube video, took it apart, put it back together with a few pieces left over. And it ran, and it did all right. But ultimately, I sold it. And that's one of the things I'm going to get with my money is I'll get a good bike again. Maybe I'll commission Houdini to build me a bike.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I drive a stick shift.
I would
That's about as
gladly do
exciting
it.
as I get.
No, we fight. We do man
People want to
shit.
do fight, but when it comes
We
to
do
like
man shit.
When it comes to cars, though, like I have a 6-speed. That's about as cool as it gets. But it's a coupe or it's a sedan with 2 car seats in the back, so it kind of negates the 6-speed part of it.
Bro, I drive a station wagon.
I drive a Honda Civic Hybrid, bitch, because I like my gas in my car instead of in my wallet.
And if you haven't heard the story, it's on Instagram TV.
It is on
About
Instagram.
him and his
Miracle
Honda
car.
Civic. The miracle
Oh,
car.
that's right. Yeah, I forgot I told that.
But yeah.
He's done 6 videos, and I forgot which ones he's done.
Oh damn! It was so long ago. Was that Thursday?
Probably.
You know, it's funny. I didn't realize I'd done that many videos till one day I went and checked following, and I swiped and I saw Charles McFall, Jason, then me. I'm like, wait, what? And I went. I had so many videos out there. Like, wait a second.
Yeah, you're cranking them out, man.
I'm doing way too many of these. I need to chill for a bit. Oh yeah, but that's fun though. IGTV is fun.
Yeah.
So IGTV. Speaking of that, Rue, tell them where they can find you, buddy.
You can find me at the Niger Nerd on all social media, up to and including Tumblr.
What? Are you taking over Brandon's role? What are you doing?
Somebody's got to do it.
Just throwing out weird shit? All right. Tank, tell them where they can find you, buddy.
You guys can probably not find me on IGTV because I suck at those. At the Cape Critic, I have a Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, but not IGTV. I've done one because Jason called me out, so I had to do one. But yeah, Cape Critic. You guys can find me all over the internet.
I dig it.
Charles, if you would like to tell them where they can find you. Basically, just turn on iTunes, right?
Why are you cupping my balls when you say that? I don't understand. Right there.
Yeah, 2 hands. That's better. Yeah. You need
Rock Out of Podcasting pretty much everywhere except for Twitter because they're dumb. It's at Rock Out of Pod. Giant size.
No.
Oh god, the iTunes crowd is missing out.
Honestly, check this out. Giant size. That's just weird.
That's straight video, people. You got to find the video. GiantSizeTeamUp.com is my network, and that's where all the great shows are. And I want to be clear because some people are like, man, you do a ton of shows. Like, no, I do like 3 or 4, which is a lot when you really, if you know, like Jason, you know, it takes a lot to put in a show, and you guys know.
Yep.
I just excluded Tank, who does all the fucking heavy lifting. But you guys.
Yeah.
But on the network I do 3 shows on the network out of 9. So everything else is other people doing what they do best, and they just work well with what we do on the network, and it's amazing stuff. And actually, you guys, I think, would love Blazing Defender Report. Travis Jones, good old boy.
I do like it.
God,
I listened to him because of your shirt and something.
Yeah, one of my videos had the Blazing.
Yeah, one of your videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I checked him out. He's cool, man. He's cool.
Yeah, he's
I
gonna
like
be
the botched guys too.
Oh yeah, they're doing a live show at Dragon Con. I hear possibly you guys might be making an appearance at Dragon Con.
We may or may not know somebody. Are we saying this right now?
Are we
done?
You guys are doing a panel at Dragon Con.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, there we go. I didn't know if we were going to say it or not.
All right, we gotta check with our manager.
I
Make
thought
sure
they
we
weren't
can
going to
say
have us back after last time. That's so good to hear.
Yeah, Naru said some things to some kids. We weren't supposed to come back, but Charles pulled us some strings. Not those kids' strings. He just pulled some different strings. And we are actually invited back to Dragon Con, believe it or not. Naru has to show up a little late because we got to make sure those kids aren't in the cosplay costumes this
It
year.
wasn't my fault.
But
We're little people.
yeah, well, you know, little people, children, you're not supposed to touch people like that. There are rules against it.
Cosplay is
Bill
not
Cosby.
consent, Naru.
That cosplay does not mean like Bill Cosby. Okay, it's not Cosby play, right? But yes, we will be at Dragon Con. We do have a panel there. You guys come check us out. Be sure you check out Giant Size Team Up. These guys are awesome. I listen to their shit, and if I spend my time listening to it, but you should probably listen to our show or Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. But then, like, their show is a close 4th.
Wait, did you just like pimp a celebrity show?
7th. 8th.
He keeps
A solid 8th. Their show's solid 8th in there. But
next to it.
you guys check them out. Giant Size Team Up. They've got some great stuff. I love a lot of their shows. I listen to it. They're ridiculous. I just don't like listening to Charles that much. Please.
No, who does? Everybody gives me
So-
shit. That's whatever it is.
You guys can find us all over the internet, the interwebs, if you will, at The Nerds From Work. You can follow us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and pretty much wherever you find your jams.
But pro
That's The
tip,
Nerds From Work.
look up TNFW.
Protein.
Pro tip, because if you look up The Nerds from Work on most podcatchers, you won't find you, but you find
Ooh.
TNFW.
True. But if you look up The Nerds From Work, one word, because I don't know
Like no
why we
spaces?
did that. No spaces,
Okay.
because we're unique. But yeah, TNFW also works. And because obviously he's looked for our show. But also you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Nerds From Work. They don't like the word the. Find us on Facebook. See what we're doing. And we are going to be at DragonCon. So DragonCon, watch the fuck out because your boys be drinking. And that's why we have a show that's late at night. All right, from all of us here at the workplace, peace.